All right, welcome to another deep dive. Today, things are going to get kind of meta because we're talking about AI that can, well, basically replicate human
Like
personalities.
a copy of you.
Yeah, exactly. And get this, it only takes like 2 hours.
That's crazy.
Right. So we're diving into this article from Live Science. It's called Just 2 Hours is all it takes for AI agents to replicate your personality with 85% accuracy.
That title alone, I mean, it really grabs you.
It really does. It's like, are we living in a sci-fi movie now?
Right. So what does this even mean? Like, break it down for us.
So basically, researchers have created these things called simulation agents,
Yep.
which are essentially AI replicas of real people. And they can predict how those real people would respond in different situations with like 85% accuracy.
85%, that's really high.
It's incredibly high. And that's across all sorts of things like personality tests, social surveys, even logic games.
Wow. So how do they even build these things? Like, is it just feeding the AI like basic info about a person?
It's way more than that. They actually use in-depth interviews, like 2 hours long, to capture all the nuances of someone's life story, their values, their opinions.
Okay, so it's not just like your age or what you do for a living. It's like the stuff that really makes you you.
Exactly. It's like why you believe what you believe, not just what you believe.
Right, the context, like your whole life experience is kind of baked into the AI.
That's exactly it. So they do this interview, 2 hours, they get all this info, but how do they actually turn that into an AI that acts like a person?
That's where it gets really interesting. They use this thing called a generative model.
Okay, generative model.
I like to think of it as like a master impersonator, right?
Yeah.
They study you, they learn your mannerisms, your thought patterns, and then they can basically predict what you do or say in any given situation.
So it's not just like memorizing facts about you, it's actually learning how you think.
Exactly. It's like it analyzes everything from the interview and it learns to identify patterns in your thinking and basically builds this mental model of like how your brain works.
That's kind of freaky, but also super cool.
It is, right? And it makes you think, what if someone lies during that interview? Could they create a fake personality?
That's a good point, and it's something researchers are definitely aware of.
Yeah, it's like this tech has amazing potential, but also there's potential for misuse.
It's like a double-edged sword, right? We've
Yep.
got this incredible power to
Yeah,
like model human behavior, but we also have to make sure we use it for the right reasons.
you got it. It's a powerful tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So let's talk about the good first.
Mhm.
I mean, what are some potential benefits of this technology? Like, how could it be used to, make the world a better place?
This is where things get really exciting. Think about research, for example.
Okay.
Like, imagine being able to test a new cancer treatment on thousands of AI replicas before you even start human trials.
Oh, that's pretty mind-blowing.
Right. You could study the impact of policies like new laws or regulations.
Or like see how people might react to, I don't know, a new product launch or something.
Mhm. Exactly. And you can do it all in this safe virtual environment without the ethical or logistical limitations of real-world experiments.
So it's like instead of just relying on surveys or focus groups, which can be pretty limited,
Yeah.
you could actually see how these virtual people might behave in real-world situations.
Exactly. You get a much more accurate and nuanced understanding of like how people might actually react.
Okay, I see how that could be super valuable for like businesses and policymakers and stuff. But what about us regular folks? Like, how could this technology impact our everyday lives?
Imagine having an AI assistant that like really gets you.
Okay, so like better than Siri or Alexa.
Way better. Like an AI that understands you better than your best friend.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
It could help you manage your schedule, filter your emails, maybe even find you the perfect date.
Uh-huh. All right, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't it be kind of creepy to have an AI that knows you that well?
It's something to think about for sure. Like, where do we draw the line between, human intelligence and artificial intelligence? And how much control are we willing to give up?
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. So we've got this technology that could potentially make our lives easier, but it also raises some pretty big questions about like privacy and control and even what it means to be human.
That's it in a nutshell. And the crazy thing is, this technology is already here. It's developing so fast. So we can't just ignore it. We have to start figuring out how we want to shape its future.
So it's like, what safeguards need to be put in place?
Yeah.
What are the ethical considerations? Like, where do we even begin with all of this?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It really is. But before we get too deep into that, let's take a closer look at how researchers are actually measuring the accuracy of these AI replicas.
Sure.
Like, how do they know they're actually good at predicting human behavior? What kinds of tests are they using?
Okay, so one of the first things they did was have the AI replicas take personality tests.
Like the ones you find online?
Yeah. Not quite. They used this specific one called the Big Five Personality Inventory.
Okay, never heard of it.
It's like a really detailed map of your personality, right? It measures things like how outgoing you are, how organized you are, how agreeable you are, stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. So they wanted to see if the AI could